Before we talk about how to program your subconscious mind correctly, you need to see how you've been programming it wrong your entire life. This is level 0, the default setting, the place where most people live without ever realizing they're trapped. Level 0 is the victim's loop. It's when you ask questions that seem innocent, even helpful, but are actually programming your subconscious for failure. Questions like, why does this always happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I ever get this right? Why am I so bad at this? These questions feel natural. They feel like you're trying to understand your problems. But here's what's actually happening. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful search engine ever created. Whatever you ask it, it will find answers. If you ask, why does this always happen to me? Your subconscious immediately goes to work. It scans your entire life history. It finds every similar situation. It builds patterns. It creates evidence. Within seconds, it has constructed a complete narrative explaining why you're cursed, unlucky, or fundamentally flawed. And here's the devastating part. Your subconscious doesn't know you're just venting. It thinks you actually want these answers. So it gives them to you, in detail, with examples, with proof. It shows you the time you failed in 3rd grade, the rejection you experienced last year, the pattern of disappointment throughout your life. It builds an airtight case for why things will always be this way. This is learned helplessness. It's a psychological condition where you've been conditioned to believe you have no control over your outcomes. And the primary mechanism of that conditioning is the questions you ask yourself. Every time you ask, why me? You're training your brain to see yourself as powerless. Every time you ask, what's wrong with me? You're programming your identity around deficiency. The victim's loop has a specific structure. First, something goes wrong. You fail, you get rejected, you make a mistake. This is just life. Things go wrong for everyone. But then comes the critical moment. Instead of observing what happened or looking for solutions, you ask destructive questions. Why am I such a failure? Why does nobody like me? What's wrong with me? These questions trigger an internal search process. Your subconscious pulls up every memory that matches this pattern. You remember other times you failed, other times you were rejected. Your brain is just doing its job, finding relevant data, but the effect is catastrophic. You don't just feel bad about this one situation. You feel bad about your entire existence. The single event becomes evidence of a permanent condition. Then comes the 3rd part of the loop. Negative emotion floods your system. Shame, guilt, despair, worthlessness. These emotions aren't just uncomfortable. They're programming. They're telling your subconscious, this is dangerous. This is who we are. Remember this. Every time you loop through this cycle, the programming gets deeper. The neural pathways get stronger. The pattern becomes more automatic. And here's the trap. Because you're asking, why does this always happen to me? Your subconscious actually starts creating situations to validate that belief. It's not conscious. It's not deliberate. But your brain loves consistency. If you believe you always fail, your subconscious will subtly sabotage your efforts to maintain that consistency. It will make you procrastinate. It will make you doubt yourself at critical moments. It will filter reality to show you more evidence of failure. This is called confirmation bias, and it runs your life at level 0. You're not seeing reality as it is. You're seeing reality through the filter of your victim questions. Someone gives you constructive feedback and you hear, you're worthless. Someone is busy and can't meet up, and you interpret it as rejection. You're literally programming yourself to find pain everywhere. Most people spend their entire lives at level 0. They never question their questions. They never realize that the way they talk to themselves is creating their reality. They think their problems are external. They think life is happening to them. They never see that their questions are the prison walls. Level 0 is where you start, but it's not where you have to stay. Everything changes the moment you realize your questions are programming. The moment you see that "why me" creates a completely different reality than "what can I learn from this?" That awareness is the beginning of freedom. That's when you step into level 1 and start the real work of reprogramming your subconscious mind. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of their own minds. Thoughts arrive without permission. Emotions flood in without warning. Reactions happen before you even realize what's going on. This is the default setting for most humans. Complete autopilot level 1 is where everything changes. It's the first real step in taking back control of your subconscious mind. But here's what makes it different from what you've probably heard before. You're not trying to control anything yet. You're simply learning to watch. Think of your mind like a movie screen. Right now, you're so absorbed in the movie that you forget you're sitting in a theater. Level 1 is the moment you remember there's a screen, there's a projector, and there's you, watching it all unfold. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. Imagine someone criticizes your work. Immediately, thoughts start firing. Why does everyone hate what I do? What's wrong with me? I'm terrible at this. Your chest tightens. Your face gets hot. You spend the next 3 hours replaying the criticism over and over, making yourself feel worse each time. That's level 0. You're completely identified with every thought and feeling. There's no separation between you and the mental chaos. Now watch what happens at level 1. Same situation. Someone criticizes your work, but this time you pause. You think, I notice I feel defensive. I notice there's tightness in my chest. I notice I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. See the difference? You haven't eliminated the discomfort. The feeling is still there, but something fundamental has shifted. You're observing it instead of being consumed by it. This might sound like a small change. It's not. This single shift creates what scientists call metacognitive awareness. You're thinking about your thinking, and when you can observe a thought, you prove something crucial. You are not that thought. You're the awareness watching the thought. Here's where it gets interesting. When you say, I notice I feel anxious, you activate your prefrontal cortex. That's the executive function center of your brain, the rational, calm part. At the same time, you deactivate your amygdala. That's your emotional panic button. You're literally changing which part of your brain is in control just by using the word notice. But most people never learn this skill. Instead, they ask level 0 questions. Why am I so anxious? And here's what your subconscious does with that question. It goes searching for answers. It scans your entire life looking for evidence. It finds that time you failed, that embarrassing moment, that rejection. Within seconds, your mind has built a complete case for why your anxiety is justified, permanent, and definitely your fault. Your subconscious mind is like an incredibly efficient search engine. Whatever you ask it, it will find results. Ask it why you're broken, and it will show you all the ways you're broken. This is why the questions you ask yourself matter more than almost anything else. Level 1 teaches you to stop asking destructive questions and start making neutral observations. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? You say, I notice this is happening, instead of, what's wrong with me? You say, I notice I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. The word notice is your most powerful tool at this level. It creates distance. It removes judgment. It makes everything temporary. If you can notice something, it means it's separate from you. It's a passing experience, not your permanent identity. Here's how you practice this. Start with your body. Right now, scan your body from head to toe. Don't try to change anything. Just observe. Notice tension in your shoulders. Notice if your jaw is clenched. Notice your breathing pattern. Shallow or deep, fast or slow. No judgment, just data. Your body is the easiest place to start because physical sensations are relatively neutral. Once you can observe your body without trying to fix it, you move to emotions. When you feel something rising, pause and name it. I notice I feel frustrated. I notice I feel excited. I notice I feel uncertain. Be specific. I notice I feel bad is too vague. Your subconscious needs precision. I notice I feel disappointed because my idea wasn't acknowledged is clear. The more accurate you are, the more power you have. Then comes the advanced practice, watching your thoughts. This is harder because thoughts pretend to be you. They speak in your voice. They feel like truth. But if you can observe a thought as it passes through your mind, you prove it's just mental weather. It comes, it goes. You remain. This is level 1, the foundation of everything that comes next. You've learned to observe. You can watch your thoughts without being consumed by them. You notice your emotions without drowning in them. That's level 1, but now you're probably feeling something else. A restlessness, a question that keeps appearing. Okay, I see what's happening. Now what? Welcome to level 2. This is where you stop being a passive witness and start becoming an active participant in your own reprogramming. You're not just watching the movie anymore. You're learning to change the script. Level 2 is about asking better questions, not victim questions, not neutral observations, but questions that point your subconscious mind toward growth, solutions, and possibility. This is where you transition from, why is this happening to me, to what can I learn from this? Here's why this matters. Your subconscious mind is always searching. It's always working. It never stops. And whatever question you give it becomes its mission. If you ask, why do I always fail? It will search your entire database of memories and find every failure. It will highlight them, amplify them, build an entire identity around them. But if you ask, what can I learn from this situation? Your subconscious goes searching in a completely different direction. It looks for lessons, patterns, growth opportunities. Same event, completely different programming. Let's say you lose a client. At level 0, you ask, why does this always happen to me? Why am I so bad at this? Your mind spirals. You feel like a failure. You consider quitting. At level 1, you observe. I notice I feel disappointed. I notice I'm having thoughts about my competence. You create space. The emotion doesn't consume you, but at level 2, you redirect. What can I learn from this? What feedback did I miss? How can I improve my approach next time? Suddenly, your subconscious isn't searching for evidence of your inadequacy. It's searching for actionable insights. It's looking for the upgrade. This is the power of redirective questions. They don't deny reality. They don't pretend everything is perfect. They simply point your mental energy in a useful direction. Instead of spinning in circles asking why you're broken, you're moving forward, asking how you can grow. But here's where people make a critical mistake. They learn about redirective questions and think they've found the magic formula. They pace positive questions over negative feelings without actually processing anything. This is what I call spiritual bypassing. You're using growth language to avoid feeling what needs to be felt. Level 2 only works if you've mastered level 1 first. You need to be able to observe and acknowledge what's actually happening before you redirect. If you're anxious and you immediately jump to, what's the opportunity here? Without first noticing the anxiety, you're just suppressing it. You're putting a motivational poster over a wound. The correct sequence is observe, acknowledge, then redirect. I notice I feel anxious about this presentation. That feeling is real and valid. Now, what can I learn from this nervousness? What is it trying to tell me? Maybe I need more preparation. Maybe I need to practice my opening more. What's the useful information here? See the difference? You're not denying the anxiety. You're mining it for intelligence. Your emotions aren't problems to be fixed. They're data to be decoded. Redirective questions help you decode them. Here are the most powerful redirective questions you can program into your subconscious. What can I learn from this? This is your universal translator. It takes any experience and searches for the lesson. How is this making me stronger? This question assumes growth is happening even in difficulty. Your mind will find evidence to support that assumption. What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? This removes fear from the equation and lets your subconscious explore possibilities without limitation. What's the next smallest step I can take? This question is crucial when you're overwhelmed. It redirects you from the mountain to the single step in front of you. Your subconscious can work with that. Who have I seen navigate this successfully? This activates your pattern recognition. Your mind searches for models, strategies, proof that what you want is possible. The key is consistency. You're retraining decades of victim programming. Your default setting is still to ask, why me? What's wrong with me? Every time you catch yourself asking a level 0 question, pause. Observe it at level 1, then redirect it at level 2. This is active reprogramming. This is how you build new neural pathways. Level 2 is where you become a student instead of a victim, where you start treating life as a classroom instead of a punishment. You're not just noticing what happens anymore. You're extracting wisdom from what happens. You've been asking better questions. Instead of, why do I always fail? You're asking, what can I learn from this? Your subconscious is searching in better directions. But there's still a problem hidden in these questions. A subtle flaw that keeps you stuck. The flaw is doubt. When you ask, can I do this? You're giving your subconscious two possible answers. Yes or no? 50-50. Your mind might search for reasons why you can't, and if it finds even one convincing reason, game over. You've just programmed failure. Level 3 eliminates this problem completely. You stop asking if something is possible. You start assuming it already is. You embed the outcome you want directly into the question itself. This is called presuppositional language, and it's one of the most powerful tools in subconscious programming. Here's how it works. Instead of asking, can I get better at public speaking? You ask, how am I getting better at public speaking? See what just happened? The first question allows for doubt. The second question assumes improvement is already happening. Your subconscious doesn't get to debate whether it's possible. It only gets to search for evidence that it's occurring. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't pretending. This is strategic language design. You're structuring your internal dialogue in a way that forces your subconscious to look for what you want instead of what you fear. Let me show you the difference with real examples. Level 2 asks, what can I learn from this failure? That's good. It redirects you toward growth. But level 3 asks, what am I learning as I move past this? The assumption is already built in. You're not wondering if you'll move past it. You're assuming you are, and you're just gathering intelligence along the way. Level 2 asks, how can I become more confident? Level 3 asks, how am I becoming more confident every day? The first is a request. The second is a recognition of a process already in motion. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with recognition. It just finds proof. This works because of how your subconscious processes language. Your subconscious mind cannot process negatives. If I tell you don't think about a blue elephant, what's the first thing that appears in your mind? A blue elephant. Your brain had to create the image first before it could try to delete it. This is why affirmations like, I am not afraid, don't work. Your subconscious hears afraid and goes searching for what you're afraid of. But assumptive commands bypass this completely. Instead of fighting what you don't want, you assume what you do want. How am I handling pressure more effectively? Your mind doesn't waste energy debating. It searches for the moments when you did handle pressure well. It looks for strategies. It finds evidence. And the more evidence it finds, the more it reinforces the assumption. Here's the critical part. Your assumptions must be process-oriented, not outcome-dependent. Don't ask, how am I already rich? When you're broke, your subconscious will reject that immediately because the evidence contradicts it too strongly. Instead, ask, how am I building wealth consistently? That's believable. Your mind can find small evidence. Maybe you saved $20. Maybe you learned something new about investing. The assumption is about the process, and processes can start right now. The most powerful assumptive commands follow this pattern. How am I improving at? This assumes improvement is happening and asks for the mechanism. What am I noticing as I become more? This assumes transformation is underway and asks for observations. In what ways am I already? This assumes the quality exists and asks for evidence. As I continue to grow in this area, what am I discovering? This assumes ongoing growth and asks for insights. These questions don't feel aggressive. They don't feel fake. They feel like genuine curiosity about a process that's already happening. And that's exactly why they work. Your subconscious doesn't resist them. It cooperates with them. But here's the warning. Assumptive commands only work if you've done the work at level 1 and level 2 first. If you're still completely identified with your negative thoughts, if you haven't learned to observe them, Jumping to assumptions will feel like lying to yourself. Your system will reject it. This is why the levels must be done in order. Each one builds the foundation for the next. Level 3 is where you stop asking permission from your subconscious and start giving it direction. You're not wondering if change is possible anymore. You're assuming it's happening and asking how. You've been asking assumptive questions. How am I getting better at this? Your subconscious is searching for evidence of progress, but there's still a gap. A distance between who you are and who you're becoming. Level 4 closes that gap completely. This is where you stop talking about what you're doing and start declaring who you are. You move from behavior to identity, from I am working on being confident to I am confident, from becoming to being. This is the most direct form of subconscious programming available. Here's why this is so powerful. Your subconscious mind organizes everything around identity. It's not interested in what you do occasionally. It's interested in who you are consistently. And once something becomes part of your identity, your subconscious will defend it automatically. It will create thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that match that identity without you having to think about it. Think about someone who identifies as a runner. They don't wake up every morning debating whether to run. They don't need motivation. They don't ask, should I run today? They run because that's who they are. Runners run. The behavior flows automatically from the identity. This is what level 4 creates for any quality you want to embody. But most people get this backwards. They think, I'll start running, and then eventually I'll become a runner. They wait for the behavior to create the identity. Level 4 flips this. You declare the identity first, and the behaviors follow. You don't wait to feel confident before saying, I am confident. You say, I am confident, and watch your subconscious start generating confident behaviors to match. This sounds simple, but it's where most people fail. They say, I am confident once, while their inner voice screams, no, you're not. You're terrified. You're a fraud. The identity declaration crashes into years of contradictory programming, and the old programming wins. This is why level 4 only works if you've mastered the previous levels. You need level 1 to observe that inner resistance without being crushed by it. You need level 2 to redirect that doubt into curiosity. You need level 3 to assume progress is happening even when you can't see it yet. Only then can you step into level 4 and make identity declarations that actually stick. Here's how you do it correctly. You start with present tense declarations. Not I will be confident, not I want to be confident, but I am confident, present tense. Right now, this is critical because your subconscious only operates in the present moment. Future statements get filed under someday and never activate behavioral change. You make your declarations specific and embodied. Don't just say, I am successful. That's too vague. Your subconscious doesn't know what to do with that. Instead, say, I am someone who follows through on commitments. That's concrete. Your subconscious can create behaviors around that. I am someone who speaks with clarity and conviction. Your mind knows what that looks like. You repeat your declarations with feeling, not just words. This is crucial. If you say, I am confident in a weak, uncertain voice, you're programming the opposite. Your subconscious reads the emotional tone more than the words. You need to embody the identity as you declare it. Stand tall, breathe deeply, feel what confidence feels like in your body, then make the declaration from that state. The most powerful identity declarations follow these patterns. I'm someone who... This creates behavioral identity. Your subconscious asks, what does someone like that do? And generates matching actions. I am becoming more every day. This combines identity with process, making it easier to accept. I am the type of person who... This activates pattern matching. Your mind searches for moments when you acted like that type of person. Here's what happens when you practice this consistently. At first, your declarations will feel like lies. Your old programming will fight back. But if you stay with it, something shifts. Your subconscious starts looking for evidence to support the new identity. It finds a moment when you were confident, then another, then another. Slowly, the new identity becomes more real than the old one. This is called identity shifting, and it's how all lasting change happens. You don't change by forcing new behaviors. You change by becoming someone for whom those behaviors are natural. A confident person doesn't have to try to be confident. A disciplined person doesn't have to force discipline. It's just who they are. Level 4 is where you stop trying to improve yourself and start declaring who you already are at your core. You've been declaring your identity. I am confident. I am disciplined. I am capable. And maybe it's working. Maybe you're starting to believe it. But there's still something missing. Your words say one thing, but your body says another. You declare confidence while your shoulders are slumped. You claim power while your breath is shallow. Your subconscious notices this disconnect, and it trusts your body more than your words. Level 5 is where you bring your entire system into alignment. This is where mental programming meets physical reality, where your words, your body, your breathing, your emotions, and your energy all speak the same language. This is embodied commands, and it's the difference between thinking you've changed and actually becoming someone new. Here's what most people don't understand. Your subconscious mind doesn't live in your head. It lives in your entire nervous system. Every cell in your body is storing information. Your posture holds memories. Your breathing patterns carry emotional signatures. Your muscle tension tells stories about what you believe is safe or dangerous. You can say affirmations all day, but if your body is frozen in fear, your subconscious receives the message, "We're in danger." Ignore those words. This is why traditional affirmations fail for most people. They're trying to reprogram their mind while their body is sending completely contradictory signals. It's like trying to convince someone you're calm while you're visibly shaking. The body always wins that argument. Level 5 teaches you to program through the body first. You don't just say, "I am confident." You stand like someone confident stands. You breathe like someone confident breathes. You move like someone confident moves. Then you make the declaration. Now your subconscious gets a unified message. Every system is saying the same thing. This is when real transformation happens. Let me show you exactly how this works. Confidence isn't just a thought. It has a physical signature. Confident people stand tall. Their shoulders are back. Their chin is level. Their breathing is deep and centered in their belly. Their movements are deliberate, not rushed. When you put your body into this exact configuration and then declare, "I am confident," your subconscious has no choice but to believe you. The evidence is overwhelming. This is called state management, and it's one of the most powerful tools in human psychology. Your emotional state isn't controlled by your circumstances. It's controlled by your physiology. Change your body and you change your state. Change your state and you change what your subconscious believes is possible. Here's the practice. Before you make any identity declaration, first create the physical state that matches it. If you're programming confidence, stand in a power pose for 2 minutes. Feet shoulder width apart. Hands on hips or raised above your head. Chest open. Breathe deeply. Feel the physical sensation of taking up space. Your body will start producing different hormones. Testosterone rises. Cortisol drops. Your nervous system shifts out of threat mode and into opportunity mode. Now make your declaration from this state. I am confident. Feel the difference? The words land differently because your entire system is congruent. Your body believes it. Your nervous system believes it. Your subconscious has received a clear, unified command. This works for any quality you want to embody. Want to program calmness? Slow your breathing. 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Relax your jaw, soften your shoulders. Let your body settle into stillness. From this state, declare, "I am calm and centered." Your subconscious receives proof from every sensor in your body. Want to program energy and enthusiasm? Move, jump, shake your body. Clench your fists and release them. Breathe quickly and powerfully. Get your heart rate up. From this activated state, declare, "I am energized and ready." Your physiology confirms what your words are saying. The key is repetition with full system engagement. You're not just saying words. You're creating reference experiences. Your subconscious learns through experience, not theory. Every time you combine physical state with verbal declaration, you're creating a memory that your subconscious can access later. Do this enough times, and eventually your subconscious learns to trigger that state automatically. This is how actors prepare for roles. They don't just memorize lines. They embody the character. They move like the character. They breathe like the character. They create the physical state first, and everything else follows. You're doing the same thing, except the character you're embodying is the highest version of yourself. Level 5 is where programming becomes installation, where mental concepts become lived reality, where your body and mind finally speak as one. You've been programming your subconscious deliberately. You observe your thoughts. You ask better questions. You make assumptions. You declare identity. You embody your commands. And it's working. Things are changing, but you're still aware of the process. You still have to remember to do it. There's still effort involved. Level 6 is where the effort disappears. This is the master level. This is where your subconscious programming becomes so deep, so integrated, that you don't have to think about it anymore. Your thoughts, feelings, and reality move together as one seamless flow. You don't try to be confident. You simply are. You don't work at being disciplined. It's just how you operate. The gap between who you want to be and who you are collapses completely. At level 6, commands become invisible. You're not standing in front of a mirror doing affirmations. You're not consciously shifting your physiology. You're not reminding yourself to ask better questions. All of that has been absorbed into your operating system. It runs automatically, below your conscious awareness, shaping every moment without you having to direct it. This is what mastery looks like in any field. A master pianist doesn't think about which fingers to move. A master athlete doesn't consciously coordinate their muscles. A master speaker doesn't rehearse each word. The skill has become part of them. It flows through them effortlessly. Level 6 is that same mastery applied to your subconscious programming. Here's what happens at this level. You stop trying to create your reality and start living from it. Most people operate from lack. They see what they don't have and try to get it. They feel inadequate and try to become worthy. They experience fear and try to find courage. This creates constant resistance. You're always moving towards something you believe you don't have. Level 6 flips this completely. You live from the end state. You don't move toward confidence. You move from confidence. You don't try to create abundance. You operate from abundance. You don't seek peace. You are peace, and everything you do flows from that center. This isn't visualization. This isn't pretending. This is a fundamental shift in how you perceive yourself and reality. When you live from the end state, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious stops searching for what's missing and starts expressing what's already there. Your thoughts naturally align with your desired reality because you're not fighting to get there anymore. You're already there. You're just letting it unfold. This is what people mean when they talk about effortless manifestation. It's not that things magically appear. It's that you stop blocking them. Your subconscious programming is so clean, so aligned, that opportunities flow naturally. The right people appear. The right ideas come. The right doors open. Not because you're forcing anything, but because you're finally in harmony with what you actually want. But here's the truth about level 6. You can't skip to it. You can't fake it. You can't use it as another technique to get what you want. Level 6 only emerges after you've done the deep work of the previous 5 levels. It's not a destination you aim for. It's a natural result of consistent practice. The masters who operate at this level aren't trying to maintain it. They're not holding on to it. They simply live there because they've done the work so thoroughly that there's no other way to be. Their subconscious programming has been rewritten at such a fundamental level that the old patterns can't run anymore. The new patterns are the only ones available. At level 6, your commands become your reality automatically. You don't declare, "I am confident" anymore. You just are, and confidence expresses itself naturally in everything you do. You don't remind yourself to think abundantly. Abundance is your default lens for viewing the world. You don't try to embody power. Power moves through you naturally because that's who you've become. This is the level where thinking, feeling, and being merge into one, where there's no separation between your internal world and your external experience, where your subconscious programming is so complete that you're simply living from your highest self without effort or strain. Level 6 is the destination, but the only way to arrive is by walking through every level before it. There are no shortcuts. There is only the journey of progressively deeper programming until the programming becomes you, until there's no difference between the command and the commander, until you are the reality you once only imagined.